Hello friends, Miss Baker here again. I'm so excited to see you. Yesterday we were comparing the lengths of objects. Today our learning target is going to look a little different. I'm super excited to get started with you. Let's take a peek at this learning target and see how our work will be a little different today than it was yesterday. I can compare the lengths of objects in word problems. Ooh, what's similar? Yes, yesterday we compared and we thought about how objects were longer than others, how much longer, or which one was shorter and how much shorter it was. What's different about this? Yes, today we're going to be reading word problems and solving those to find out the difference between the lengths of objects. And if you notice this, we were using numbers like 16 and 21, 5 and 3 yesterday, and even in your practice, your numbers were probably a little bit smaller. Today, look at this, 52, 43, 56, 71. Holy guacamole, our numbers are getting a little bit bigger really quickly, aren't they? So we're going to have to listen very carefully as we think about these word problems. As we learn about word problems, a couple things. Friends, I'm going to ask us before we can even start solving. We are going to ask ourselves, what do we know about this problem? What are we trying to find out? I'm going to be encouraging you to write an equation with a box for the unknown or a space for the unknown so that we know what we're trying to solve for. That also will help us think about what would make sense in that spot, if it's going to be a bigger number or a smaller number than some of the numbers that we're seeing on our board. Something else I want us to review, we're going to be working on this all week, building those habits. We are going to be solving problems so many different ways. So we're going to make sure that we continue to do that. I'm looking for friends specifically who are doing things differently, solving these problems and making sense of them in a completely different way. And then the best part is that we get to compare those ideas, compare those pathways, and find out how my way and your way are similar and how they're different. And that helps us grow as mathematicians because it not only helps us see how somebody else might solve that problem differently than us, but it also helps us understand how we can move from our way into their way if it's a more efficient strategy. So our work today is very focused on building these habits of finding the glory and the value of all of us solving problems different ways and seeing how amazing those ways are. Let's go ahead and get started with our first problem. You're going to turn your listening ears up and you're going to be listening carefully and following along so that you can tell me what do we know and what are we trying to find out. Let's go ahead and get started. Jonah is 52 inches tall. His sister Sophia is 43 inches tall. How much taller is Jonah than Sophia? Let me read this to you one more time. I want you to put a thumb in front of your tummy when you can tell me something we already know about this story. Jonah is 52 inches tall. His sister Sophia is 43 inches tall. How much taller is Jonah than Sophia? What do we already know? I see a thumb over there. We know that Jonah is 52 inches tall. Here's Jonah. Okay? What else do we already know? Sophia is what? 43 inches tall. Ooh. Is 43 a bigger number or a smaller number than 52? How do you know? Say 43 is smaller because it even says how much taller is Jonah than Sophia. So we know that Jonah is taller. So I'm going to draw Sophia. Not that Sophia has to wear a dress, but we're going to put her in a dress. We can tell the difference between those two. And we have 43 inches tall. So we got Jonah at 52, Sophia at 43. What are we trying to find out? What is the question our problem is asking us? How much taller is Jonah than Sophia? So we know that he's taller, but how much taller is he? What's that space between his head and her head? What might be an equation I can write to help me solve this problem? Take a moment on your paper, whether you're at home or in the classroom, and I want you to write an equation that might help you solve this problem. You're adding. What number are you starting with if you're adding? And where's your unknown? So where are you landing? I see you waggling and thinking yours is the same. You're subtracting though. Why does your equation look different? What are you starting with? What are you taking away? Oh, all right, friends, let's come together and share some of these strategies. If you're at home and you hear an equation that you wrote, I want you to waggle so that I know that you have solved it. You've done something similar. All right, how about our adder? What did you write? Okay, so you started at 43. Why 43? And that's how tall Sophia is. And then what did you do? You added an unknown to get to what? To get to Jonah. So Sophia plus a little something gets to Jonah's height. So we see that? Here's Sophia's height plus a little something gets to Jonah's height. Would that equation work? Who else wrote that same equation? What about your equation? You wrote a subtraction sentence. 52, and that represents what? Jonah. And what did you do when you subtracted? You took away Sophia's height. Okay, when you took away Sophia's height, what did you find? The difference is what is left. So your unknown is in the answer. This unknown is in the change. What would you have to add to get to that 52? Take a few moments of private think time. Our habits here are our different ways. Those are sharing our interaction between each other, right? So those are habits of working together with other people. Having that private think time is really making sure that we are having that chance to let others think and ourselves think. Take a few moments and solve with one of these equations and show me how you might do that. You may begin. What tool did you use? And when you used your number line, did you start at 43 or 52? Which equation matches that work? You're using a number line. What are you doing? And which equation does that one match? Coming together in 5, 4, 3, 2, pencils down 1 and done. If you are at home and you are needing some extra private think time, please feel free to pause me and then hit that button again when you're ready to listen. All right, let's start over here. What strategy or what tool did you use to help you with this? Okay, all right, use a number line. And where did you start on this number line? Okay, and start at 43. Why did you start with your 43 over here? It was getting to a bigger number. All right, so what did you do first? Why did you jump a 7? Because 3 plus 7 equals 10. Okay, so if 3 plus 7 equals 10, then what will that get you to? To 50. So you're at 43. You're trying to get to that next 10, which is 50. So you add 7. All right? What did you do next? Why did you jump 2? Because you're trying to get to 52. Gotcha. So one more was 51. The next one was 52. That's where you landed. So then where's your answer in this problem? Where's the difference between their heights? This 9 that you're adding. So you're at 43. You jump 7 and then 2 more to get to 52. So here's Sophia's height. Here's Jonah's height. And where's your difference again? Up here at that 9. So then which equation does this work match? Yep. And so what's going to go in that box? And why does that match that equation? 43 plus 9 equals 52. Oh my goodness. Who else solved it with using that number line that way? Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, what are we going to do next? Can I have you share your strategy? Okay. What tool did you use? Okay, you also use the number line, all right? And with your number line, where did you start this? Where did you start? 52, okay? And so your 52 was down here. Why was it down here? Because you're subtracting, all right? And when you subtract, what are you taking away? Whoa, why a big jump of 40? You're take away 43. And what's the benefit of being able to take away 40? Just your tens place is changing. So 5, take away 4 equals 1. So 52 take away 40 is going to just land you at 12. There's that 1 in that tens place. All right, then what do you have to do? All right, you're taking away 2. Why just 2? Because 12 take away 2 equals 10. All right, and then what do you need to do? Why just 1 more? Take away 43. Where's that 43 in your work? 40 and 2 and 1. So that's 40, 42, 43. And you landed on what? So how much taller is Jonah than Sophia? 9. 9 what? Aha. Jonah is 9 inches. There's my unit of measure. Inches taller than Sophia. And which equation did yours match? How are these two ways similar and how are they different? How are they similar and how are they different? Okay, so one's starting at 43 and they're adding 9 to get to 52. So they're adding, they're subtracting. How are they similar? They both got 9 as the answer. Isn't that interesting? So if we were going to put that into a number bond, what would that look like? What number? How would those numbers be related to each other? 52, 43, and 9. So we can add these two to get to 52. Or I can take away this to get to that. I could even take 9 away from 52, right? And I could land on 43. So those numbers are related, right? Every time that 9 fits in that box, that unknown is the same no matter what. Let's take a peek at number 2, and then we're going to have a chance to have some partner talk after that. Addie and Miles were having a jumping challenge. Addie jumped 56 inches and Miles jumped 71 inches. Who jumped farther? How much farther? Let's take a minute and think about what that means. What do we know and what are we trying to find out? Okay, we're having a jumping challenge. What else do we already know? Addie jumped 56 inches. Okay, what else do we know? Miles jumped 71 inches. What are we trying to find out? Who jumped farther? How much farther? So let's answer that first question. If Addie jumped 56 inches, Miles 71 inches. Who jumped farther? Put a thumb in front of your tummy. Who jumped farther? Why do you say Miles jumped farther? Because 71 is longer than 56, okay? You know what? I could even want, it doesn't say it's not this long, my yardsticks are not this long. But if we were looking at our yardstick, we could see this is 36, right? 20 more than 36 would get us, oh gosh, that would be very, very long, okay? We know that 71 is a bigger number, so he jumped farther. So we already know the answer to that question. Miles jumped farther than Addie. But the next question, because 71 is greater than 56, right? So we know that. But how much farther? What equation could we write to help us find the answer to that question using what we already know? What's an equation I could write to go with that? What would be an equation I could write to go with that? 56 plus something equals 71. Okay, so Addie's plus something, we'll get to Miles's. What's another way we could find the difference? 71 minus 56 would give us that answer. Where else did we write those similar equations? Right up here, right? Finding out that difference could be the difference in the unknown when we're adding, or the difference could be in the answer when we are subtracting. Go ahead and take a few minutes of that private reasoning time, that private think time, to show how you might solve this problem. How might you solve this problem? Where are you starting? Are you jumping up or jumping back? What are you taking away? So how are you showing that on your number line? Okay, and so where's your answer in that work? All right, can you show me another way? How did you solve it? You use a number line too. Somebody else used a number line. Where are you starting on your number line? 56, okay, and so are you adding or subtracting? Adding, okay, and you're going to add to get to what? 71. What does that make you think of? You almost thinking about that marker and that glue stick, starting at that glue stick and then the chunk added onto that to get to the end of the marker. Okay, so Addie's plus something to get to Miles's. And where is that answer in your work? Is it in where you landed, or is it in your jumps? Where in your jumps? Where is that number in your jumps? 4, 10. Why did you make a jump of 4? 10 is a friend, isn't it? All right, friends, it's coming together in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. I want to give just a few moments of a chance for you to listen and compare with each other. So I want you to take a moment and find a partner, whether it's somebody at school or it's somebody at home. I want you to take a moment and you are going to have a chance to share your strategy with them, okay? Now during this time, there's 2 people in a partnership. One person is going to be my green partner and one will be my yellow, okay? You can choose whoever you want to be, one or the other. When my green person is sharing, my yellow person is just listening. So if you're going to be sharing, raise your hand. If you're going to be listening, raise your hand. All right, listeners, you may even find yourself having to kind of cover your mouth so you don't interrupt. You want to hear that green partner sharing their work because you're going to have a chance to share in a minute and they're going to listen to you. So we're each going to take turns sharing. Green shares, yellow listens. Then yellow shares, green listens. Last, when you've both shared your strategy, you're going to have a chance to compare. Yes, you're going to be able to talk about how your way is similar or is different from your partner's way. I'm going to give you some time to do that, and then I'm going to pop up some work while you're talking, and you're going to have a chance to see how people solved their problems. Go ahead, greens. You're going to go ahead and share first. Well, I'm hearing some greens sharing. Hand on top of your head when you're done. All right, yellows, go ahead and you share. Hands on your heads when you're done. And then I want you to quickly take a moment and talk about how your ways are similar and how they are different. All right, I'm putting up some of these pieces of work that friends have shared. I've been listening carefully, and we're going to see if one of our friends can share their strategy and explain what this looks like or what they did. And you might be thinking to yourself, hey, I did that same thing. Or you might be saying, ooh, I did something very similar when I was solving it. I'm going to put up two different number lines. I've got two people, well, actually many people, who chose these two ways to think about their thinking. All right. Let's start with this brown way. All right, kiddo, go ahead and share what you did. And I'll stop around my pink one. Okay, so you started at D6. Why did you start at D6? Yes, this friend was telling me that they were thinking about that work we did yesterday. Feels like forever ago, doesn't it? And when we were looking at that glue stick, and then we were looking at that marker, and that end, that chunk between the end of the glue stick and the end of that marker is what they're imagining when they were doing this number line. This is the end of whose jump? Addie's jump. This is the end of Miles's jump, and this is that space between. So what did you find? Why did you jump 4 first? It got you to 60. Why were you trying to get to 60? 10 is a friend. 10 is a friend. Then what did you do? Jump 10 to get to 70. And then one more to get to 71. Okay, and so where is the difference? How much longer is Miles's jump than Addie's jump? And where is that 15 in your work? 10. And 4 is 14. And one more is 15. Ah. And there we go. Yes, so you were adding, that's your equation that matches your work. Let's take a peek at this pink one. I had a friend do this. Tell me about what you did. Ah, okay, so you made jumps of 10. So 61, 51, 41, 31, 21. Okay, what are you trying to take away? 56, that's why you made 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then what? Just one. Why just one? Got you to 20, and then what? Oh, I gotta make that a little bit longer, don't I? Okay, take away 1 or 5 more. Sorry, wasn't being a very good listener, was I? And 5 less than 20 equals 15. So where's your 56 in your work? Your 50 is in your 10s, and then there's your 6, and 50 and 6 is 56. Where's your difference? It's in your 15 where you landed. Friends, if somebody have one of those strategies, give me a thumb or a hand up in the air if that was one of yours. Wonderful. As we keep thinking about solving these comparing problems, whether they're just two objects or whether we have them in a story problem, we want to be asking ourselves which one is longer or which one is shorter. We want to be asking ourselves how much longer or how much shorter and finding out the difference. And just like this one up here, these three numbers, 56, 15, and 71, are the same numbers but in a different order with a different symbol, that plus or that minus, to help you solve it. But the numbers didn't change, just the order and the operation you use, whether you're adding or subtracting, changed. You're doing the same kind of work on your own today. I'm looking forward to seeing you get rocking and rolling with these comparing numbers. Happy measuring!